Welcome, night dwellers, to Paranormal Nightshift, where the veil between worlds thins, the shadows whisper their secrets, and your chilling fan stories come to life. I'm your host, Gideon, your guide through the unexplained, the eerie, and the downright hair-raising. If you've found your way here, you already know. We don't just tell ghost stories. We uncover the experiences that leave people questioning reality, the encounters that stay with you long after the lights go out. Before we step into the unknown, I have something special for you, a gateway to another realm of mystery. Head over to paranormalnightshift.com and claim your free copy of The Birth of Dimensional Desperado, the first book in our supernatural time-traveling saga. This is where Buck Shadow Sheriff Freeman's journey begins, a tale filled with ghosts, lost time, and the secrets that refuse to stay buried. But now, it's time to return to the darkness. Tonight's tale, The Little Girl Who Warned Me, comes from one of our listeners, Laura. A story of a voice from beyond, a warning that came, and a restless spirit who may still be searching for something or someone. Dim the lights, listen closely, and whatever you do, don't ignore the voices in the night. Now, let's begin tonight's story. I was 11 when it happened, but the memory still feels as vivid as yesterday. I was just a kid, living with my mum in a small apartment complex in Atlanta, Georgia. It had always been just the two of us, and even though things weren't perfect, we made it work. That night, my mum wasn't feeling well. She had been coughing all day, her face pale with exhaustion. It wasn't like her to ask me to run errands alone, but she needed medicine and a few things from the dollar store. I hesitated for a moment. It was already dark outside, but I wanted to help her. After all, it was just a short walk down the road. I pulled on my hoodie, grabbed my phone, and headed out the door. The air was cool that evening, the streets quiet. The dim glow of streetlights flickered above me as I walked, my footsteps echoing in the stillness. Even though I was alone, I wasn't really scared. Atlanta wasn't exactly the safest place at night, but this was my neighborhood. I knew these streets. When I reached the dollar store, it was almost empty, except for a single employee, an older woman behind the register, and a handful of customers standing in a painfully slow-moving line. I grabbed the few things my mom needed and joined the line, shifting from foot to foot as the minutes dragged on. By the time I finally stepped out of the store, my phone read 8:45 p.m. I dialed my mom as I started the walk home. "Hey, I'm on my way," I told her. I was about halfway home when it happened. A sudden, unsettling feeling washed over me, that weird, instinctual sensation when you just know you're being watched. I slowed down, my heart picking up speed. My mind told me it was nothing, but my body wasn't so sure. I turned around fast, scanning the sidewalk behind me. Nothing. The street was empty, no footsteps, no cars creeping along the curb, just silence. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling, so I quickened my pace, pulling my hoodie tighter around me. I was only a few blocks away now, almost home. That's when I heard it. A soft breeze swept past me, followed by the distant sound of a child's voice. "Mommy?" I stopped dead in my tracks, my breath hitching in my throat. The voice had been right next to me, so close I should have seen whoever spoke. I spun around, my eyes darting across the empty street. There was no one there. A chill crawled up my spine, but I tried to shake it off. Maybe I was just tired, imagining things. Maybe I just wanted to get home so badly that my mind was playing tricks on me. I forced myself to keep walking, faster this time. As I reached the entrance of my apartment complex, I started to step into the road to cross. That's when it happened. Out of nowhere, I felt a force, something unseen, shove me hard from behind. My feet flew out from under me, and I hit the pavement with a gasp, scraping my hands and knees against the rough asphalt. Before I could even react, the voice echoed again. Only this time, it was urgent. "Watch out!" Dazed, I pushed myself up, looking around wildly, but I was alone. And then I saw it. A car came speeding into the complex. Too fast, headlights glaring like eyes in the darkness. If I had still been standing in that spot, it would have hit me. I sat there frozen, watching the taillights disappear into the complex, my heart pounding in my ears. I wasn't sure how long I stayed like that before finally scrambling to my feet. My hands were shaking as I dialed my mom. I'm okay, I told her, my voice unsteady. "I just fell. I'm coming home now." But as I dusted myself off, I turned to look around again. I wanted to thank whoever had just saved my life, but there was no one there. Days passed, but I couldn't get the incident out of my head. Who had pushed me, and where had that voice come from? A few days later, my mom and I went to the dollar store together. I hadn't planned on bringing it up, but as we walked down the aisles, I spotted the same old woman behind the register, the one who had been working that night. On impulse, I approached her. "Excuse me," I said hesitantly. "Can I ask you something?" She turned, giving me a kind but curious look. "Sure, honey. What is it?" I swallowed. "Have you ever heard a little girl around here?" Her expression changed immediately. The warmth in her face faded into something else. Confusion, then shock, then deep, aching sadness. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice quieter now. So I told her. I told her about the voice I had heard, the push, the warning that had saved me from the speeding car. As I spoke, I watched her eyes widen in disbelief. When I finished, she just stared at me for a long moment, and then she looked like she was about to cry. She took a shaky breath. "5 years ago," she began, her voice thick with emotion, "I used to live in that same apartment complex, and my granddaughter, she was 9 years old, went to this very store to pick up a few things for me." I felt my stomach drop. "She never made it home," she continued, her voice breaking. "A drunk driver hit her, right in front of the complex. She died on the scene." The words hung in the air, heavy and crushing. She looked at me again, her expression unreadable. "I moved out after that. I couldn't bear to stay. But you're telling me you heard her?" I nodded slowly, feeling a lump rise in my throat. She smiled, but it was sad. "I always prayed she wasn't alone," she whispered. Maybe she's still here, watching over others. Maybe she found you for a reason." I didn't know what to say. My chest ached with something between fear and sorrow. That night, I went home and cried. And that was when the dreams started. They weren't nightmares, not exactly, but they always felt heavy, real. In my dreams, she was there, the little girl. Her clothes were always bloody. She would look at me with big, sad eyes and whisper the same thing every time. "I miss my mommy." I woke up in a cold sweat every time. But over time, the fear faded, and something strange happened. I got used to it. I started talking to her in my dreams, asking her questions, trying to comfort her, and then, one day we moved. My mom got a promotion, and we left the apartment complex behind. The dreams stopped. Years later, I still think about her. I wonder if she ever found peace, if she's still out there, watching over someone else. And I wonder if her grandmother, the kind old woman at the store, ever felt her presence again. Maybe, just maybe, that little girl still has a message left to give. And with that, we bring this chilling journey into the unknown to a close. Laura, thank you for sharing your incredible experience with us. It's stories like yours that remind us just how thin the veil between worlds truly is. If tonight's tale sent a shiver down your spine, consider supporting the show. Join us on Patreon for an ad-free experience and early access to episodes. Our Patreon members are the lifeblood of Paranormal Nightshift, and we make sure to give you extra perks, so don't miss out. Not quite ready for Patreon? No worries. You can still help us in a big way by subscribing to the podcast on Spotify and YouTube. And while you're there, drop a comment. Let us know what you thought of Laura's story. Have you ever had a brush with something unexplained? Have you ever heard a voice that wasn't supposed to be there? Your feedback and stories help keep the show alive. And before you go, don't forget to claim your free ebook. Visit paranormalnightshift.com and grab The Birth of Dimensional Desperado, the first installment in our supernatural time-traveling saga. Follow Buckshadow Sheriff Freeman as he steps into a world of ghosts, lost time, and mysteries that refuse to stay buried. You won't want to miss it. Finally, if you have your encounter with the unexplainable, don't keep it to yourself. Head over to paranormalnightshift.com and submit your story. Whether it's a whisper in the dark, a shadow that shouldn't be there, or a presence you just can't shake, we want to hear it. Until next time, keep your senses sharp, your lights dim, and your mind open. The night is full of secrets, some just waiting to be told.